I want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. Where does the concept of mortal or deadly sin come from? And are some sins worse than others? Well, let's answer this question in reverse. In the book of James, chapter 2, verse 10, it says, if you've broken one of the laws, it's as if you've broken all of them. So from God's perspective, quote, sin is sin. So where do we get the idea that there are mortal sins? There are the, quote, 7 deadly sins. Well, generally speaking, it's from tradition. Over the years and years and years, the last 2,000 years, there are those groups of believers that have began to classify sins as mortal, deadly, etc. But the actual biblical passage that, in my opinion, has been twisted and turned into this tradition is found in 1 John chapter 5, verse 16, where it says that if a person has sinned a sin unto death, there is no reason to pray for them, but if they have not, you can. Now, the reason I go to that verse is it talks about there is a sin unto death. In other words, it appears, notice appears in that passage, some sins are worse than others. However, in the context of that passage, if you go back up into verse 14 of 1 John, it's chapter 5, it's speaking about praying for things in our life and God to move in our life. And it's not really dealing with the aspect of what you and I might know as one sin being worse than the other, as much as it's saying is that there are some sins, and this is key to the question, that bear consequences, that once those consequences are enacted, there's no reason to pray for it to be changed. Let me give you a good illustration. In the book of Hebrews chapter 12, it talks about Esau from the Old Testament. Remember, he sold his birthright to his brother Jacob. And it says he begged God, he pleaded with tears for it to be reversed. And God said, I'm sorry, it cannot be undone. I think that's a good illustration of a sin unto death. Not that some sins are worse or better than others, but that the consequences of some sins cannot be reversed. Sin is sin. Oftentimes the consequences can vary. In other words, it leads to this famous statement, you can choose your sin, you can't choose your consequences. I think that helps in light of this question. It's a great one. If you have one, send it to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow's. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.